So get this. A lost manuscript has just come to light from the great German writer Christa Wolf. It's called Floodlands, and wow, is it something. It's this absolutely incredible look inside the mind of someone grappling with the end of their world and the beginning of ours. Right from the first line, she just plunges you into this central metaphor. For the narrator, who is an elderly writer a lot like Wolf herself, water isn't just, well, water. It's the very stuff of memory, a current that can wash away the past and totally reshape the present.
So what we're really doing here is following a single consciousness as it deals with two massive floods at the same time. You've got the flood of our own past dissolving away, and then you have the literal rising waters of our planet's future.
Okay, so first we have to get a handle on her inner world, because for her, her own identity, her sense of self, has become just as fluid and unpredictable as the water she's writing about.
And this right here, this shows you exactly what she means. She's looking at an old photo of herself from her days in East Germany, and she realizes she isn't just one person. She's all three of these things at once. Her life wasn't some straight line. It was a stack of different selves, full of compromises and contradictions, all kind of existing together.
And you have to remember, this isn't her first flood, not by a long shot. This is a woman who's already survived so many kinds of deluges. She lived through World War II. She navigated the constant lies and surveillance of the GDR, and now she's facing this quiet internal flood as her own memories start to fade.
This quote, man, this gets to the heart of a lesson she learned the hard way from the Stasi, the East German secret police. You know, after the Berlin Wall fell, she got to read her own surveillance file, and what she found was just empty, banal. It missed everything that actually mattered about her life. And that's how she knew for a fact that the official story is never the real story.
And this is where everything changes. The central metaphor that has defined her entire life, this idea of rising water, is about to crash into a very real, very physical, and frankly, terrifying reality.
It's like she has this sudden realization. She looks back at everything she's ever written and sees that, in a way, she's been training for this moment her whole life, without even knowing it. All those books about historical pressure, about things left unsaid, they were all practice for understanding this crisis.
And this is the question the whole manuscript hinges on. What do you do? What does a writer who has spent a lifetime using flood as a symbol, what does she do when the flood isn't a symbol anymore? When it's actual water and it's coming for you?
All of a sudden, the nightly news just becomes a list of her metaphor coming to life. She's watching reports of these catastrophic floods everywhere, reading about projections of coastlines just gone, cities that have to be abandoned or walled off, entire island nations that will just disappear. The abstract has become brutally concrete.
And this leads to such a chilling thought. Her generation, they survived the absolute worst of the 20th century. They thought they'd seen the apocalypse, they were done with it. But it turns out, that wasn't the final act. That was just the intermission. Now the planet itself is here to settle the score.
This brings her to maybe the toughest part of the entire manuscript, complicity. She starts to see this really disturbing connection between the small compromises she made to survive in the past and the ones we are all making right now. She draws this direct, painful line. Back then, she would change a word here or there to get past the censors, telling herself it was a form of resistance. And now, well, we make these little daily adjustments to live inside a global system we know is destructive, and we tell ourselves we're doing our part. It's the same pattern. And that's the thing that truly terrifies her. This isn't being caused by some evil villain. It's us. It's normal people making what feel like normal, reasonable choices. The most terrifying thing is that the system is working perfectly. It's just that its perfect operation is destroying the world. So if we're all part of the problem, what on earth can anyone do? For the narrator, the only answer she can find is to take on the difficult, heavy burden of being a witness.
Her mission becomes incredibly focused. She's not trying to write about the end of the world. She feels this duty to capture right now, this bizarre, surreal moment we're all living in. This in-between time, where we know what's coming, but we're all still just going to work and buying groceries.
Let's be really clear about what she means by witness. For her, it's not about being hopeful or finding a solution. It's a moral act. It is the simple, powerful act of refusing to look away, refusing to pretend you don't see what's happening. It's a way of holding on to what makes you human. But this leads her to this huge, profound question. What's the point of being a witness when the disaster isn't a secret? I mean, it's all over the news, it's in scientific reports.
What good does it do to shout a warning that, let's be honest, everyone has already heard and is actively ignoring? So where does this all end up? In the final pages, the narrator doesn't find a solution. She doesn't find hope. What she finds is a kind of clarity, a really difficult, painful clarity that you can only get to after you let go of the need for a happy ending.
She's speaking at a literary festival, and she just lays it out there, totally blunt. She says art can't save us. And why not? Because we don't really want to be saved. Or more accurately, we want to be saved without having to change anything about our lives, and that's just not possible.
So if art isn't for saving people, what is it for? Her final answer is pretty stark. The job of a writer, or really, of any witness, isn't to make people feel better. It's just to tell the truth, period. Even when that truth is absolutely unbearable to hear.
And you see the impact of that honesty in this letter she gets from a student. The student calls her perspective a terrible gift. And that's it, isn't it? It hurts to see things clearly. But in a world drowning in comfortable lies, maybe it's the only gift that really matters.
And that's where the manuscript ends. No easy answers. Just this final, haunting question. It's a question that stops being about the past and forces us, right here and now, to ask what we owe to the living and to whatever future is left.